Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the same leg here representing TeamJVS. Here you guys another review from TIFF 2025. I'm talking about the 50th anniversary of Toronto International Film Festival. We're here to talk about Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out story, or Knives Out 3. This is an insane cast. Off rip, that is a plus. Benoit Blanc is back. Of course, Daniel Craig is back, and Rian Johnson is leading the charge with a stellar cast. The cast goes as this: Callie Sparry, Jeremy Renner, Andrew Scott, Mila Kunis, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Thomas Hayden Church, Kerry Washington, and Josh O'Connor. Josh O'Connor plays the role of Reverend Judd. Reverend Judd is a man that had a very interesting past, and he came to Christ. He came to God, and he turned his life around, and he decided to be a priest. And he is kind of an unconventional priest. Like, a lot of people don't really like him. They don't like his disposition, but he really does love people, and he does have a relationship with God that's very intimate and very personal. Well, unfortunately for him, he is being reassigned to a location that is is the church of Josh Brolin's character, Magistrate Jefferson. And Mr. Jefferson is not a conventional priest. He is all about fire and brimstone. He is about casting people aside, and he has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Like, his whole job is to tear people down, and he gets off on that. And every single cast member is a part of his church. And it's interesting because Glenn Close's character is, a really close member, and Martha. Everybody else kind of is self-contained in their own silos, but they've got their own intimate and very interesting past and connection with Josh Brolin. So what did I think about the film, though? That's a small little brief synopsis. It's really good. This one, there's something about this, and it all clashes with Josh O'Connor's character. And Josh O'Connor, if you haven't seen Challengers, he's an amazing actor. But in this one, he is a young man that is battling with his faith, battling with who he's trying to be. And also, the whole point of being a priest is preservation of life. Whoever it is being there for them, standing in the gap, and hopefully maintaining who you are at the same time. And there's a lot of things going on emotionally with him that it feels like a direct connection with Ryan, like his connection with God, or his relationship with God, and what does it actually mean, and how does it actually work when reality is kind of hitting you in the face. How do you maintain your faith, and how do you also maintain what it means to be a human under different circumstances? Because every single one of the different characters represents different, to me, not different levels of humanity, but the different sides of what it actually could be, whether it's greed, whether it's envy, whether it's lust, whether it's like, I'm trying not to spoil too much, but let's just say there's certain connections there that are really, really telling. And it makes for a very interesting dynamic for the storyline. So, of course, you got all the different random moments and whodunits and the different comedic moments. But this is probably the darkest out of all the different movies. Whereas, like, the second one coming off of COVID, you kind of felt like, this is a big splash. And then the first one, it's like, yeah, people are dying, but it's kind of also like a very funny situation based on this all being a family. In this one, you don't know where it's going to actually go. By the second to the third act, I truly didn't know. It wasn't even about who did it. I was uncovering a lot of things between the first two acts, but it was like the tone shifted in such a way that it wasn't just about who done it. It's about like whose soul is still here. Like who's kind of like just forsaking their own right of doing the right thing, and just sold their soul to the circumstance. And even Daniel Craig plays a very vulnerable situation with Benoit Blanc, because there's certain things that he just can't uncover. he can't understand, and he can't recount. And it makes for a very compelling story. So I think that the story is very unconventional, but is very good in this situation. And I really do feel like there's a heart to it. There's a message to it. But I mean, all the different thrills of whodunit and all the things that you remember from the first two movies, they're all there. It's just he's improved upon them with different cast members, and the cast is doing a really good job. If I had a standout, it would definitely be Glenn Close. Glenn Close and Josh O'Connor are scene stealers every chance they get. Josh Brolin is just, I ain't gonna call him evil, but he is just unrelenting. That's the best way to put it. But Glenn Close in this one, she has a lot to chew on, and she is stealing scenes. She is knocking it out of the park every single moment you can. It's got a really good intimate score to it as well. That makes it really compelling, but at the same time, you don't know how things are going to shift. And also there's some quiet moments. There's some moments where you're kind of seeing things happen visually. So from a cinematic standpoint, you're always looking and guessing and assessing, and they always go back to it so you can understand, like, okay, this is why you saw this. This is what this actually means. And I think if you love a good whodunit or a clue, I mean, you're going to really love this. But if you've loved this Knives Out movie, this is no different. I think this actually tonally is darker. Storyline is a lot more intimate and more personal. And I mean, I think that the first one was always a classic, but this is really good. Yeah, I rest this at a 8.5. Maybe even a 9. I think if I see this from repeated viewing, there's something that I could get from it. That I think is really important. And it's also a thing about the character, Josh O'Connor's character. Every person that he interacts with, he looks at as an opportunity to help, as to be there to stand in the gap for them. And I think that speaks huge volumes in a circumstance that we are in right now. I think that's just a good thing to actually feel and embrace. Someone trying to do the right thing, even though you don't necessarily know if they are really trying to do the right thing. And I think that's even more compelling. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this review, and got a lot more TIFF coverage coming, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching.